Eileen. I'm from FSTEP. Have you heard of FSTEP before? No. Okay, it's okay. I will share with you more. Anyway, I have to take this chance to thank Yasina for inviting FSTEP to be here. You're from the other company?
Yes.
Hi. Yeah, actually my slot should be last, so thanks for giving me the chance to actually speak first. Is it clear tak? Is it clear? Do you want to sit in front or it's fine you sit behind you? It's okay? I'm going to do this very short and sweet. As you see, I can't stand for too long. Okay, I'll just, okay, how many months? Okay. It's 8 months. 8 months plus, so anytime. Okay, well, as you can see, I'm Eileen. I'm the specialist in PR and communications. My main role is actually to go out to a lot of schools to promote about FSTEP program. Maybe I'll sit here. Well, I'll actually explain to you more about the intake later. So FSTEP stands for Financial Sector Talent Enrichment Program, right? So a few of you might be surprised why we are here, because this seems like this is more for those who are in the finance or the banking or the business school, right? But actually FSTEP is actually a program where we actually open for graduates from all types of major, meaning you can be from Science, IT or whatever. As long as you want to join the banks or the insurance company, you can apply for our program. So FSTEP actually started in the year of 2007. This is the idea of our Governor of Central Bank of Malaysia, Tan Sri Jati, to actually encourage more graduates to join the banking and also the insurance industry. Okay. So what we do is we provide a 1-year sponsored intensive training program for you guys. And the best part is when you join our program, it's actually for a year and it's free. And throughout that 1 year, you will get allowance. So if you are being sponsored by an insurance company, you will get allowance of a minimum 2004. Okay? If you are sponsored by a bank, your allowance is a minimum 2006. This is just the minimum amount. I would say the range is from 2004 up to 3005. Okay? Yeah. So as you can see from the slides, as well as on our banding, these are some of the partners that we have. Meaning when you join our FSTEP program, you will actually have a chance to work with any of our partners here. But this is just the banks that joined us for the last batch. Like for this batch, we have new banks and new insurance company joining us. So for this FSTEP structure, I think it's if you have a brochure, you may also open. Can you open the brochure? Okay. Can you please open page 4 and 5 for the brochure? You can actually have a look on our program structure, and I'll explain more to you. So when you join FSTEP, you must join for the whole year. So in this whole year, we have two parts. The first part is a 5 months training at FSTEP office. After you actually complete this 5 months training at FSTEP, you have to go back to a bank that sponsor you to to complete another 7 months on the job training. Okay, so the 5 months at FSTEP, you'll be trained in these 4 areas: conventional banking, investment banking, Islamic insurance, and also takaful. Right? So example like you're from the Sains or IT school, right? Those banks are it's so huge. So when you join the banks, actually you can also join like the IT division, or even they also have their own promotion division where they need your skills like in doing the slides or the and all that lah. Okay. So in FSTEP, we actually train you in these 4 areas that I mentioned: conventional banking, investment, Islamic banking, and insurance. Other than that, you also attend a 1-month intensive English. Currently, our partner is ELS. Then we also send you to team building at our bound school, Perak, for like a 10 days program. We also have a lot of like soft skills and all that to actually groom you and train you to, like example, you train on how to dress and all that lah. And as also you can see in page 4, right? You can see all the prominent leader as a part of our program. We actually invite the CEO or those from the higher management from various companies to actually come and talk to you on how they actually get up, or climb up the ladder. Okay, we also have like this training at Bloomberg, where you actually have a chance to go to KLCC at the HQ to be trained how to use the Bloomberg machine, right? We also have like as you can see here, we have a lot of other programs like industrial visits and games and all that. After this, I'll actually show you a video. From there, you can probably see more on all the things that you learn when you actually join the FSTEP program. Okay, after 5 months at FSTEP, you have to go back to a bank that sponsor you for the 7 months on the job training. So let's say, example, you apply to us, then you actually sponsored by, example, RHB Bank, right? And then under RHB, perhaps you'll be sent to in IT division. So while you're at RHB, you will be placed under the IT division. And also, this is actually something new. At the last month, we actually choose the top 20 to come back to our office to actually attend this special program called as Young Leaders Development Program, where you have a mentor from the industry to coach you for 1 month. Okay. Then I'll share to you how can you actually apply, or what is the requirements to join this program. FSTEP is open up for all Malaysian, but since year 2013, we actually also open up to foreign students, but they must be from ASEAN country. As long as you are Malaysians and you have a degree, you can be from any major of study. Alright, age is 30 and below, less than 3 years of experience. If you pass this basic criteria, and also of course your pointer must be 3 pointer and above. Alright, then once you pass this basic criteria, you can actually apply to us. Then we'll call you to come to our office for the short listing. So for those of you who are interested, you can actually apply online, or you can just send a CV to this email address at inquiry@fstep.org.my. Once you send your CV, after 2 or 3 weeks time, we actually call you to come to our place for the test. Okay. We have 3 tests. The first one is the online test of English. It's actually about a 1 hour test in grammar. After you pass the test, the next round you must do a short English essay. The essay is about 80 words. Example, we ask you things like why do you want to join the banking industry? Example, right? So after that, you have to also complete the comprehension test. After you pass all these 3 tests, then only you have a chance to have the face-to-face interview with one from the FSTEP staff, and also one one HR personnel from banks. So if you pass all these, then you'll be offered a contract lah, okay? So for if you have any friends or even yourself, if you're a JPA scholar, if you don't get any job with the government, you can actually transfer your bond to work under FSTEP or under the banks. Now through the Kelompok initiative, if you don't work with the government, you can actually transfer a bond to serve the private companies. So just to share with you, we have been around since year 2007. So now we're in batch 12. So far we have trained 1,560 participants. Okay, as you can see from here to from May to onwards, we do accept some from the ASEAN country like Pakistan, Indonesia, and all that. But I would say the number is very small because you see in May 2013 we come up with new rules. Let's say a Malaysian bank that have at least 20% of shareholding in a bank in overseas, they can send their staff to be trained in FSTEP. So let's say example Maybank. Maybank actually owns some share in a bank called MCB in Pakistan. So they can actually sponsor Pakistani students to be trained in FSTEP, and later they can either work in Malaysia or they can go back to work in Pakistan under Maybank Group, MCM Bank. Okay. So I like to share also some of the statistics that how many those that from UKM that joined us before. So this is from batch 1 to batch 12. For our current batch 12, they are about we have 2% actually from UKM that joined us. Yeah, and you'll be surprised that every batch, right? Those who join us, I would say 40% who join FSTEP program, they are not from the finance background. There are some from IT, some like law, engineering, marine science, and all that. Okay. So for those of you who are not clear where is FSTEP, just explain to you. FSTEP office is actually inside the building of Takaful, Malaysia. It's very near to KL Central or Petaling Street. So you don't have to worry in terms of transport and all that. It's very easy. You can use commuter, monorail, or even bus to actually reach our office. When you join our program, it's a full-time program. Means you have to come to FSTEP Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's like a job, a work. But instead of you actually go to work, but you just come to FSTEP to train for 5 months. Ingat 5 months at FSTEP and 7 months at a bank or insurance company lah, whoever that sponsor you. And we normally have 2 intakes per year, but for this year we only have one intake, which is on the June 30th. So if you miss this intake, then you probably can join our next intake, which is going to be on somewhere next year, January. Yeah. For all of you, can I just have a rough idea? You will finish your exam in June or July? June lah. Which the date? End of June. Right. But for those, let's say example now you're in your final year, your pointer or your CGPA is already like 3.3 and above. You can actually apply, because our rules is as long as by June 30th, when you join FSTEP, you have pointer of 3 and above. So because if now you have like 3.5, I'm sure if you drop also, you won't drop until below 3, right? I hope so. Okay, I want to share with you the testimonial. Actually, you can also see from our brochure. But I like to highlight you to the last person. What is his name? Can you see? Doctor, right? He's actually a doctor, but he don't want to become doctor. After that, he joined FSTEP, and he's changed his career, and now he's in insurance company doing claim. So FSTEP is actually also a platform for people who want to have a career change. Yeah, there are many of you perhaps. I hope this is something that you like, so you can still continue to do whatever you like. If not, you always have the chance to actually change your career. So when you join FSTEP, you can either change your career by doing the finance part. If not, you can still use the things that you learn in like IT, because banks also need, right? Those in IT, those who know all those multimedia for banks promotions and all that. Okay, I will just put the FAQ aside. I'd like to show you first a video. Right, then only if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Can I off the light? Can someone help to off the lights?
These are field products. Use the start promise my daughter that she will get her car in 2 weeks. But that's already 1 month. Where's the car now? It's already 17 years. I truly understand the frustration and how to appreciate how we can do as well.
Thank you. So I hope that you enjoyed the short video. Question time. Any question? Sebarang pun tidak. You have anything to ask? Ada. Clear tak ada? Hi.
Hi. My name is Nur Shafika. I'm third year right now. Okay, I want to ask about Bloomberg training session.
Okay.
Can you explain a little bit about the Bloomberg?
The Bloomberg. Okay. Have you heard of Bloomberg before?
No.
Do you know like actually if you ever macam like shoot actually Bloomberg they actually provide the data or information. If for those people who actually pay for the service, they will give you the two terminals. Then from there you can actually check like the live share prices and all that. So Bloomberg is actually our partners where they allow you guys to go to the HQ to have a basic training in example in forex and all that. But normally you won't have a chance to actually go there to train, you know, because the machine is very expensive. If I'm not wrong, 1 month it costs you like $2,000 US to just to rent the machine. It's just only for one machine. Right. I know some school they have like, I think Utah or what, they probably have like one machine, but that's one machine for the whole school because it's not cheap. Yeah. So for those who don't accept, they are very fortunate. They have the privilege to be trained. But of course, it's a basic training, you know. Because if you are really interested to train in this, like probably you have to apply your job as a forex dealer and all that, then you have the chance to have a proper training. Yeah. There is something you might want to check. They have something called as BAT, Bloomberg Aptitude Test. You can go online and check BAT. It's a test where you can actually test like how well you know actually about the financial world. You can go and Google BAT, Bloomberg Aptitude Test. It's quite fun. You can register. From there, after that, you can actually have the chance to go to the office at KLCC to test the machine. Okay? I have something for you. So you have to come and collect. Limited edition, huh? Yeah, 3 colors. Hope you like it. Next question, cepat. I just only have a few. I only have a few. Next question. Intake bila? Intake bila? Can you give me the month and the date? Just now I just mentioned kan. We have one intake this year kan? June? Who said June 30?
Everyone.
Since you are the one who raised your hand, so I have to give you. Yellow. This is like a dark brown color. We have one Malaysian bear. Any question from this side? You want to ask anything?
Do you have any partnership with IT companies so that after I graduate from this program, I still can secure a job for?
I am very sorry to say that this is a Bank Negara initiative. So all our partners are actually those listed under the Bank Negara. So it must be banks and insurance company. Yeah, because you see, when you join FSTEP, right, you don't have to pay us a single cent, but the banks have to pay you the allowance somehow of range between 2004 to 3005.
So for the job offers by the banks, does it only consist of sales and marketing?
So because like banks is so huge, right? They have from like corporate loan to like treasury, IT, you know, like all sorts. So probably like for your side, you might want to apply under the IT divisions and all that. But it's like, you know, you can still apply your skills in IT, but you have to work in the banks or insurance company. And I would say probably one of the best industry that you want to consider to work now is either the oil and gas or the banks. I think, I'm not sure if it's fair to other, but you might want to check yourself, you know. I will offense the other reps from other companies. One pair for you as well. Can I have the last question, please? Because I need to go off already. Yeah, I take too much of your time. Can I please have our last questions? Or Cikgu, got any questions you like to ask? Okay, last and close, huh? Yeah. No more? Right, thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can always email us at inquiry.fstep.org.my, and also please like us at fstep.official. We will have a lot of events and all that you can attend for free. Right? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. From FSTEP. So actually we have three other companies here. So we have representative from Truebox Asia. We have CD Solutions, and also we have Silver Extraction. So after this, who's one is to be interviewed. Yeah, so there will be an interview session in front of the pusat sumber. Bilik perbincangan, semua tahu ya. So, but before that, we will hear a brief introduction from each company, and also a talk from Cik Hamdi about what to look for in an employer. So, firstly, I would like to invite Cik Aznam from CD Solution to brief a little bit about CD Solutions Sdn Bhd.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum kepada yang Muslim. The others too, welcome lah. Okay, around 10 or 20 of you. So I'll just briefly speak about my company. It's called CD Solutions. Outside in the industry, there is so many IT companies. So CD Solution is one of. So I'm not here to give you so much of an opportunity for work, because our company is quite small, but just to share views about the industry itself. Okay, outside it is getting tougher in terms of IT industry, but if you are in a niche area, it is quite lucrative. From our experience, we have some projects that we did with immigration department. This was done back in 15 years back. So when we had a project with them, one of the skills that was required is actually in interfacing with the equipment. So the skills required is to actually develop DLL, dynamic linking libraries, to actually do it for an application for the printers itself. So this type of subjects normally is not covered in your syllabus, but you need to actually improve yourself and look for the technology itself. For example, techniques such as cross compiling, these are also very niche areas. The other projects that we were involved with is with a pod called 8051. This is an example of product that we actually developed. This product is actually an industrial product. It's a very simple product. You just hook up to the power supply. It will send an SMS to the end user when there is no power in the building or at the socket area. So this was developed 5 years back. But the technology that we are involved with, for example, like this equipment, it involves with the 8051 board. But on your side, from the IT perspective, the areas that you may be interested in the market is actually in the Android area, in the Android programming, in the Arduino programming. So please prepare yourself. For example, the outside industry is a very competitive area, and you need to actually find a niche area for yourself. So those are some of the areas that I can share with you. No doubt you want to get into the area, it's quite tough, tapi you have to differentiate yourself from the others, right? Other areas that if you are comfortable with programming, with the Java programming and the PHP, those are also very lucrative areas. If you are on the PHP, probably try to get familiarized with the Lee framework. Those are also some of the areas which is needed quite, which people will actually pay a lot for it. Other than that areas that I'm involved with, which is in the engineering and the interfacing area, if you are comfortable with data, with the networking, by all means, those are also good areas. But the other aspect, for example, like the other program that was offered just now, they mentioned that you need to be able to market yourself, right? So those are the other aspect of social importance that you need to prepare yourself. Okay, so prepare yourself with a good CV. It's good to ask someone to actually take a look at it. And from my perspective, when I interview people to work with us, CV is one of, but you need to actually differentiate yourself. How do you differ? Okay, having the experience of developing your own Facebook site, that will be good, but you have to actually think of some other areas where you can actually bring up to market yourself, right? So that's very briefly about CD Solutions, which is a small company. We do a lot of the interfacing. Okay, I think 10 minutes is up. If there is any interest in actually going for an interview, I am available to actually interview you guys. We have the time. And the areas that we are interested is actually the Android area and the Arduino. Okay? Any questions? Not many people in Arduino, yeah? Android? Tak ada. Yang guna hanya dalam handphone you, Android 4. Okay, thank you very much.
thank you, JS now. So I would like to representative from Civil Aid to give a brief introduction to the panel.
Hi, good evening. My name is Chen. I'm from Civil Aid. My colleague is there as well. How many of you know Civil Aid actually? Have you heard about Civil Aid? Oh, okay. Some of you doing internship there, right? Okay. Basically, Civil Aid is a local-owned company, but it's a multinational company because we have office in other countries like Singapore, Thailand, Philippines, and as far as we have customer until Dubai and China as well. Okay, our industrial basically mainly in banking industrial, and in Malaysia itself we have owned about the bank actually using Civil Aid system 40% of the market. Okay, basically we are a vendor solution. So we develop banking solution for all the banks that is required. We also giving solution of new markets and all that. Area we are looking in is, as what you learn in college, is Java, .NET, Android as well. But we also have our own solution that is built on RPG programming, which run AS400. Some of you might heard, some might not heard about this AS400. It's an IBM operating system. Why we are using that? Because when we started, the CEO, actually the owner, is from IBM. What we do, we build from the system. Why we using a bit slightly older version of programming is because it's much more stable, and not like Microsoft or Java, you tend to be anti-virus coming in, hacking and all that. So AS400 is much more stable. So if you join us, some of them might be joining Java team and Android team or whatever team that you join. But 90% of our solution, the core banking, is run on RPG. So you will learn new language. Okay. So we are actually hiring a lot of programmers, and you can climb the ladder, become a project manager or team leads, or even a R&D solution provider and all that. So basically we are recruiting IT people. If you guys are interested, you can have interview sessions on that. Any question you guys have that you want to ask me, then, or else you can ask me separately after this session as well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Lastly, I'd like to invite Encik Hamdi from Truebox to brief the
Hi, good afternoon. Nama saya Hamdi, with my colleague Bom. Bom is actually alumni of UKM, so that's why he's here today lah. Mana tahu kalau ada yang nak tengok video kan. I'm here to talk about, first of all, a general topic lah. Importance of what to look for in an employer. First of all, congratulations, you guys are starting your career move, nak graduate ni kan, so tahniah. Jadi one of the things that you need to consider when you are going into the work environment is the first job that you actually get, because for a lot of us, the first job that you actually assigned to, or that you get somehow will mold where you are. The skills that you build in that particular field, for example, will then be organically. Normally, that's how people grow. 10 tahun lagi pun, if you start in a certain industry, you will most likely end up in that industry. There's very few people that actually can make the leap to different industries. So it's very important for you to really understand and look at the industry that you're going into, whether this is really something that will be of interest to you for the long run. Because the first job, the importance is something that you shouldn't take so lightly. Secondly is the work culture in the place that you are going into. As you can see, the different companies here today, I think we are at different stages and various stages of development. You have the large corporations, the very well established banks. You have the local company that has grown to to an established level, and then you have throughout Asia, which is a startup. We are actually coming to 2 years now. And but alhamdulillah, we've been grown to about 25% in the past 2 years. So we've been growing pretty fast and furious, and we are actually looking at recruiting a lot of people. And I think the point I was trying to make is you also should consider working in a place where you are in tune with, and this is in terms of work culture. Your overall outlook dan sebagainya. So if you're comfortable to be in an environment where you're defined by certain corporate culture, then you should take that into cognizance. Otherwise, you can always look at other options where you have smaller guys with big aspirations and big dreams like us. Thirdly is basically when you start to look for career opportunities, you also should start to look into opportunities for self-development. This is again something that you need to consider, especially in the field that you're going into. If I can ask, in your opinion, what is one of the most exciting ataupun field that is undergoing a lot of development and interest these days? Somewhat related to IT juga sikit. If you can know. Sorry, I don't have a bear, but I have some donuts. Can anybody just what is one of the sectors that is actually growing rapidly? In fact, this sector serves a lot of other industries. Technology, yes. In what area specifically? Bukan sikit. Mobile lab, okay. Data actually, information, and that is where we are involved in, and that's where that's our area of play. We are actually a data analytics company. So we are looking for people with .NET and C# skill set, Android, and also if you have R background or if you are interested to go into R, then you are somebody that we want to talk to. Okay, so I don't know if you know that last week was Big Data Week, that big event here. There's a lot of interesting development that's going on, and data is quite pervasive, it's everywhere, and it actually serves a lot of other industries as well. So, last point that I'm trying to, that I like to highlight, when you look for an employer or a place to work, to start a career, you should also consider an element where you are fulfilled, not just in terms of monetary. Oh, by the way, monetary fulfillment is definitely, no doubt, one of the main attractions to young graduates. We cannot say that we are able to pay to the level where the oil and gas guys or maybe the big banks dan sebagainya. But we do give very competitive rates, and our benefits are actually pretty good for our level for startup. We contribute 18% EPF, employer contribution, which is very high, and we have pretty good medical coverage. So But the thing that we can also provide is a sense of purpose or trying to make a difference. Because what we are trying to do is actually we are actually turning around the data collection and market research and advisory industry, and we've been doing it for the past 1.5 years, and we're still doing it, and we have a long way to go still, and we'd like to have people to join us in our journey. So if you feel like you want to develop together with an entity, then we definitely like to talk to you. I'd like to quickly just give this mic to Bong for him to just share his work experience and things like that, working as a UKM graduate in EDA.
Hi, hello. Good afternoon. My name is Bong. I graduated from UKM in 2010. I've been in this company for almost 2 years. What I would like to share here is basically just to show you what the employee looks like in this company. Okay, I'm going to talk about more about the culture, because I think Mr. Hamdi has mentioned that what is needed, the talent that we need for the company. And regarding the culture, we are actually a quite open company. In terms of, you can consider it as a mini Google. We have like, for example, we have a sleeping room area for you to recharge yourself, and also most of the time you are free to move around. You know, like let's say today I'm stressed thinking in the office, you can actually go down to the cafe to discuss. So the main point is what I'm trying to summarize here is we are a result-oriented company. So as long as you can deliver the best, that's what we are looking for. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks Bong. By the way, dia semua ni sebab tak suka tidur 3 hari dah kan. Okay, again, thank you UKM for the opportunity to present ourselves, and we have, again, we really do have donuts. So if you like to come and have donut with us, dekat mana, Doktor? Dekat bilik perbincangan depan pusat sumber. Alright, thank you so much. Sampai jumpa ni.
Okay, terima kasih. Thank you all. I will end this session, for briefing session. I will invite the representative for a drink. And then for the students, could you please wait at innovation space there? Yeah. So we have 3 rooms, 3 bilik di situ, bilik perbincangan. So kita akan adakan apabila untuk interview, kita akan adakan sesi interview kita sama di sana. Ya. Janganlah balik dulu ya. So saya harap kita pergi ke innovation space, just prepare your CV innovation space. So untuk sesi temu juga. Okay? Ada soalan? Cuba sikit. Alright, okay, thank you. Terima kasih.
So Bob will be waiting with the donuts dekat depan.
Kita berkumpul di innovation space ya.
Okay, 1, 2, hold on.